the signal comes into this rain EQ. It's set up where the bottom channel isn't doing anything. Everything's controlled by this top channel. There's 5 parametric EQ channels that are independently settable. The way I have it set up here is that the bottom one is a low end shelf. So you could set the frequency for your bass shelf and gain or boost it just by turning this knob. Same thing on the highs. You could trim off the highs and gain or boost it just by turning the gain knob.
Okay.
And then if you want to use the equalizer functions, you could turn these on. I'll leave them in bypass to start out. This has an input and output level. There's input monitoring and output monitoring, and those are directly affected by these sliders. These are the input. To turn down the input is down, but to turn down the output is up. The reason for that is if you have these 2 sliders together, you can move them together without changing your output level, but your dynamic headroom increases by adjusting the relationship between them. So that's why they're kind of weird and backwards, but once we get the gain structure set up, you want to mess with it. But this is nice because you can use this monitor here to monitor the input level signal coming from the main mixer. Once you get that set up right between 0 and 6, then you're good, and then you can mess with the EQ stuff, send out between 0 and 6 to the processor, and then the processor handles all your speaker management. Channel A and B are going to be coming from the equalizer, and then we'll route them so that A and B are summed, and we'll just do mono on all these to keep it straightforward. So 1, 2, and 3 will all be getting signal from A and B, and I'll use the crossover settings to cross over those as tops, and then for the subs, we'll do the same thing but set them up for subs.
Okay.
All the settings on here are this column here. So this stuff is all file stuff or maintenance. You don't need to mess with them. You got your gain, equalizer, which we won't need to use. If you want to mess with the delay, crossover and limiter. So basically I mess with the gain, crossover, and limiter for each channel. You can select a channel and then select a feature, or select a feature and then select a channel.
Yeah, that's
The only other thing you've got on here is mute. You can mute each channel. If the red light's on, it's muted.
okay.
Same thing on the inputs.
Yeah, I saw that it was pretty self-explanatory. Like if you want to adjust a dB, you got to go in here and it'll
right.
highlight underneath, and then you just
You select the top, or you select the bottom.
okay.
And you can cycle through things like that and turn the knob. That's it.
Cool, man.
It's pretty straightforward. There's a little equalizer tone here if you want to mess with that too. So.
All right, and then to kill feedback. I mean, have you run microphones through this?
No, I don't have any feedback killing here. You'd have to do that with the board.
Okay.
You can notch out. I mean, yeah, but you can notch out here. So if you needed to notch out a frequency, each one of these is fully assignable. So you can see on the frequency here, I can 0.1 times the factor on the knob, or 1 or 10. So depending on where I set that, this is going to be 50 hertz. See, I have a 500 here.
Yeah.
So 50 hertz. In the middle is 500 hertz.
Okay.
5 kilohertz. So you could set the frequency by using this and this knob on any of these channels, and then you can notch it out by setting your notch width and your gain. You'd have to turn the bypass off. If it got crazy, you can use you can have up to 10 equalizers on here. But
Yeah, I think for the most part we're gonna do